Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Khalid Butt, and today is the 13th of July. Our leading segment of the day, of course, concerns this very day, the Kashmir Martyrs' Day. Why we begin with this? Because in 1931, on this very day, 22 people were martyred mercilessly by the then rulers of the area, and that is what started the whole campaign for Kashmir's rights, a campaign that continues to this very day. We will be talking about Pakistan's stance on the Kashmir issue, all the efforts that it has been making, and of course today's messages as well. We'll share with you whether it be the DGISPR or our Prime Minister or Shah Mahmood Qureshi Saab, who've sent special messages on the very occasion. And of course we will be highlighting the Indian atrocities that have been continuing, especially under the Narendra Modi government. Our second segment is about 4 soldiers who've been martyred in North Waziristan operations. 4 terrorists have also been killed in this very operation in Vezda Sar. This was, of course, stated by the ISPR. We will be talking about that as well. And, of course, this renewed insurgency that has started again. Our third segment is a meeting of the NCOC that has begun in Lahore since this morning to discuss the strategy on how to deal with the Eid al-Azha and, of course, under the whole confluence of the coronavirus pandemic. How the standard operating procedures need to be implemented and how to make people understand that they need to follow these SOPs in letter and in spirit. And of course, we'll end on the beautiful double rainbow that has happened in Lahore this morning. It was tweeted everywhere in Lahore about this wonderful phenomenon that people got to see after this summer and this heat that has engulfed all parts of Pakistan. We'll begin with our first segment, ladies and gentlemen. Kashmir Martyrs' Day. This is a day that we hold very dear to our heart in Pakistan. Why? Because the Kashmir issue is one issue that has been still unresolved. It has had around 11 resolutions in the United Nations. We've talked to every leader in the world. Despite that, the Indian government, especially the Narendra Modi government, continues to harass, to inflict violence on the hapless people of Indian occupied Kashmir. This all began this very day in 1931 when 22 people were martyred. Why? Because they gave the azan when a certain Abdul Qadir Khan was there was a certain case against him that was put there, and there was one after the other. The rulers of that time killed the people who tried to give the call for prayer. To talk more about that, the importance of the Kashmir issue, the importance of this issue for regional peace and security, we've been joined by Dr. Waleed Rasool. He is the director of the Institute of Dialogue, Development and Diplomatic Studies. But before we come to you, sir, we'll show you a small package on this very issue and then come back.
The Kashmir Martyrs' Day has been commemorated annually to mark the incident of July 13, 1931, when 22 Kashmiris were martyred in their attempt to complete the call for prayer outside the Srinagar Central Jail by soldiers of Dogra ruler Maharaja Hari Singh. The people rose against Dogra rule and protested against the prosecution of sympathizers of Kashmir struggle. It was the beginning of Kashmir freedom struggle, which has different phases, including political struggle as well as civilian protests by Kashmiris living on both sides of line of control. Kashmiris all over the world observe the Kashmir Martyrs' Day with a pledge to continue their struggle for achievement of their right to self-determination and freedom of Kashmir from the Indian yoke. The occupied Kashmir has been brutalized for years, but since the lockdown of August 5, 2019, Indian security forces have become even more inhumane and brutal for the 8 million caged Kashmiris. 900,000 Indian occupied forces, dehumanization of Kashmiris after annexation of held Kashmir, the frustration, anger and resentment in the masses of held Kashmir was rising. The transgressions by India in occupied Kashmir constitute grave violation of the UNSC resolutions on Kashmir, bilateral agreements between Pakistan and India, and 4th Geneva Convention. On this day, the whole Pakistani political and military leadership expressed support for the Kashmiri people and their continued struggle for their right to self-determination. Shabbir Ahmed Wagra, PTV World, Islamabad.
That was Shabbir Ahmed Wagra giving us a brief outline of what happened this very day in 1931 when 22 people were massacred by the Dogra ruler because they were just giving a call to prayer. The struggle continues and it has intensified in Indian occupied Kashmir. To talk more about that and the importance of this very day, we've been joined by Dr. Waleed Rasool. Dr. Waleed Rasool is the Director of the Institute of Dialogue, Development and Diplomatic Studies. Thank you very much, Dr. Waleed Rasool, to have joined us. Sir, 89 years have passed and still the Kashmiris have not attained their right to self-determination, their right to decide what they want to do with their territory. Why is that so?
Actually, you will see that there are 185 countries today in the map of the globe. Every country had been enslaved by any powerful one, and still the number of independent states increased. Now the total is now 185. And Indian occupied Kashmir, as you said, in July 1931, it was the first phase of the Kashmir struggle. And at that time our slogan was Quit Kashmir movement, that Dogra should leave Kashmir and we should be free, because India was not having occupied our territory at that time. So we succeeded in from 31 to 1947 to that the Maharaja had vacated our land. But what happened, since Maharaja was a Dogra Hindu, he did an accession with the India, and they invited the Indian forces, Sikh regiment, 112 Sikh regiment was landed in the Srinagar airport, and they occupied. So we can say that our freedom struggle is not it is continuing from 139 till date. Slogan is changed. Slogan changed from 39 to 47, Quit Kashmir movement and Maharaja, but he was again utilized by India. Now we say it is Quit India movement, not only Quit Maharaja movement. Number one. Number two, you have seen that whenever any freedom struggle has been started, always one side was the weaker one who was aggressed, and aggressor was the powerful. And same is the India. Powerful one and very weaker one.
But you know, Dr. Waleed, one thing I'd like to understand is why so many decades have passed and this issue has not been able to be resolved. What is the main reason, Dr. Saab, in your point of view?
Actually, when India's policy was initially non-aligned movement, we are not aligned with any country, but practically they were aligned with Russia, number one. Number two, that gave them the oxygen, and they vetoed twice in the United Nations. That was an unfortunate Kashmir, as you said, that why it was not resolved, because twice veto by Russia in United Nations Security Council. Number one. Number two, Jawaharlal Nehru was himself a Kashmiri Pandit. He tried his utmost. He left no stone unturned, even utilizing the armed forces, hard power, to retain Kashmir with the India. Number three, our own leader, Sheikh Abdullah, unfortunate that he accepted the secular posture of Jawaharlal Nehru and he became the trap. Otherwise, we have been liberated.
But you know,
so it is not one dimension.
But his own son, Umar Abdullah, has been put under house arrest when, you know, under this very government. So I think people have now understood what the draconian measures that have been taken by India meant at that day and mean today as well.
What was Jawaharlal Nehru's strategy? He was telling something different to Sheikh Abdullah, and Sheikh Abdullah came under the trap. Came under the trap of the Jawaharlal Nehru, and then they inducted Article 37035A was already, and they were saying that okay, you have an autonomous region, you have internal autonomy, and now after 5th August when that was erased, now Farooq Abdullah, Mahbooba Mufti, herself saying that we have been deceived. Our fourth generation has been deceived. But the due course of time, as you were saying, 90 years of the struggle has been digested by Sheikh Abdullah itself in coordination with Jawaharlal Nehru.
But what needs to be done in your point of view? Because, you know, this is an ongoing struggle of the Kashmiri people. So many thousands and thousands have lost their lives. Women have been raped, children have been orphaned, people have been put under jails. The youth are being put into camps in order to kind of change their mentality and their attitude towards how to deal with this very issue, that is the independence of Indian occupied Kashmir. What will happen now in your point of view? Because you've been researching this very issue since many years.
Again, there are four dimensions. The role of Indian occupied Kashmir who are caged. They are doing much what they can do. For example, in 2008, 2012,
all right, Dr. Waleed Rasool, we'll continue our discussion with him, but after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Newsroom, and we're discussing the Kashmir Martyrs' Day with Dr. Waleed Rasool. Dr. Waleed Rasool, you were telling me what are the options that remain in front of the Kashmiri people in the coming days, months and years? When and how can they achieve their independence and the right to self-determination?
Actually, present struggle has the four dimensions. The role played by the masses of the Kashmir, the role played by our leaders. Sayyid Ali Gilani spent his entire life in the jail. Mirwais Saab, Yasin Malik Saab, our sister Asya Andrabi, her husband is jailed since 23 years. It is the one dimension. Next dimension is the promotion of the Kashmir issue in the legal perspective. That is the state part of that right to self-determination. And then it is an international community and the diaspora. These are four main dimensions on which our hope will continue. Now, what is the hope? Hope is there. When our future in our past, we have given huge sacrifices, as you have mentioned it, since 1931. And it is that azan which is continuing. Everybody who is struggling for right to self-determination and he is being killed. It is that azan which had been started in 1931, and that is continued, as our anchor told that in 3 days 5 mujahideen had been martyred. Last day I met on SICIP an international jurist and a human rights activist. She told me that when you are in a struggle, you should think that what you are giving the huge blood investment, it is your net result that you are making every day your thought cemented and concrete. Because actually, I have also mentioned it in my paper, resistance, resilience and fear factor. When you put density of the arms, increase it, it creates the havoc, it creates the aggression. More the aggression, more is the constituency of the right to self-determination, and more is that hatred and that cause. That hatred is a main trigger and catalyst to the cause, and it will remain the same. Now, what we will do internationally, this is an debatable thing. We have to represent that pain which is committed by aggressive forces in Indian cooperation. Media is important. Our United Nations is important. United Nations Security Council is important, and Pakistan's relation with his friends and neighbors is important. To give these sacrifices, to put these sacrifices internationally where they can be seen and dealt with. It is a very important figure which has directly connection with the state.
All right. But you know, the fact is, Dr. Saab, in the United Nations there are around 11 resolutions on this very issue. Pakistan has been highlighting this issue on every single forum with every country that it has come into touch with, whether it be in the West or in the East. It has highlighted it at the United Nations. Our Prime Minister said that. I mean, last year, in fact, he he addressed the United Nations General Assembly and talked about the Kashmir issue. But despite that, despite the resolutions, despite the efforts that are being made by Pakistan, no tangible action is being taken by the Western countries. No tangible action is being taken by the United Nations. How will this struggle achieve its logical conclusion?
So, sometimes you have to talk spade a spade. If you will see, when Modi came in the power in 2014 and again in 2019, he made 165 foreign visits. And same is the situation. You can compare with the situation of our Prime Minister.
All right.
It is not enough. Prime Minister himself told that I am your ambassador. Said that ambassador should get some time to go personally, because he is an acceptable person globally. He has communication skills. He can advocate better as a Prime Minister of Pakistan, our case. So he has to develop his personal relations on the personal basis. So I request him on this platform, he should get some time from his precious time to promote the Kashmir cause on the personal level. Then comes the Foreign Office.
All right.
But there is no iota of doubt, if there would not have been the Pakistan, there would not have been the Kashmir.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Waleed Rasool Sahab. If there had not been Pakistan, there would not have been this continuation of the Kashmir struggle. This is what Dr. Waleed Rasool has been telling us, and Pakistan will always be supporting the Kashmiri rights politically, diplomatically, and morally, as has been said by our government and our Prime Minister, who says that he is the ambassador of the Kashmiri people. And we will continue doing this at all different levels till the people of Indian occupied Kashmir achieve their right to self-determination.